fact, here they provide us with education and all the basic needs, not forgetting love and care. They love us so much. As you can see, I'm now a big girl.
Beatrice is one of the children who are lucky enough to live at the Lubasi Home in Livingstone, Zambia. Zambia is a landlocked, impoverished country in southern Africa. It is one of the poorest and least developed nations on earth, and it has one of the world's most devastating HIV and AIDS epidemics. Sadly, in this country of 12 million people, there are more than 1 million orphans, many of whom face starvation and homelessness. The Lubasi Home was founded to help just a few of these orphans make their way to a safe and nurturing environment.
Lubasi Home was started in October 2001 at the initiative of Mr. Anthony Ranjan, who is a Sri Lankan accountant working in Livingstone. And he got together with MC Patel, who was an Indian businessman who owned a factory in Livingstone and had some capital available which he wanted to invest in the community. And Anthony Ranjan suggested that they should open an orphanage. So they found these buildings which belonged to the Social Welfare Department but were no longer being used for their intended purpose. And the Social Welfare Department agreed we could have the buildings, but they were very dilapidated. So MC Patel put up $50,000 which renovated the buildings and built a boundary wall for security.
The home employs mothers to care for the children. They work day and night to create an atmosphere of love and care. Victoria is the head mother, and she sees her work not just as a job, but as a calling from God. All the children help with washing, cooking, cleaning, and gardening, and they also make small crafts. Charity especially loves making keychains. Charity has recently come to the Lubasi Home. Her father died a year after she was born, leaving her mother to care for 5 children. When the Catholic sisters found Charity, she was being carried on her mother's back because of a severe fungal infection on her feet. Charity was 12 at the time and unable to go to school.
My name is Charity. I'm 13 years old and I'm in grade 7. And the good things I have here, I have shelter, clothing, and love and care. And I've learned many skills like craft. The kind of work I want to do is to work with mass communication on television.
Gift is an orphan who was found at the Maramba market. He was malnourished and had sores all over his body.
My name is Gift. I am 12 years old and you're my concern. And I come here on 2007. I like to be an artist.
Over the past 2 years, Gift has blossomed as a young boy. He smiles a lot, plays football with a passion, and enjoys going to school. And Memory, an orphan who lived with her grandmother and arrived quiet and short-tempered, is another example of someone who has reached beyond her difficult childhood and fully embraced life at Lubasi.
I have been here 7 years. The thing I like doing here, these people help in many things, such as shelter, food, clothes, even taking me to school. Because there, when I was at my own home, I was not going to school. They give me things which I want, care, love, which I wasn't received from my grandmother.
Education is a central focus of the home, but it is not free.
The primary children go to Christ the King School, which is nearby. In theory, primary education in Zambia is free, but in practice we have to buy uniforms, we have to buy shoes, and we have to pay a PTA fee every term.
It has been a long-standing relationship between Christ the King and Lubasi, where all their children who are brought in due to the different problems are brought to Christ the King. And because of this relationship, Lubasi Home is able to access education for their children
In addition to school, there are 2 Catholic sisters who, among their many tasks, work with the Lubasi children to improve their reading and computer skills. Feeding the children is one of the main expenses, so now the children and staff are learning to garden and raise chickens.
We started the chicken project because we wanted to teach our children how to look after the chickens. So since we started the chicken project, I think in 2005, we have never bought chickens from the market. We are using the same chickens from our project. Then we also have a garden project where we grow vegetables. The children work with the uncles and mothers. You know, as we say, this is a home, and we have to work with the children. So we work with them in the garden.
In the midst of this extreme poverty, the Lubasi Home is a true sanctuary for these children. Just a brief glimpse of where one of these children lived before arriving will show you what we mean. Esnat lived with her grandmother, who was struggling to provide for 6 orphan children. She did not have money for food or school, and all the children shared one small room and bed. It's understandable that Esnat is shy and quiet, but with patience and love, she will find her voice. Food, clothing, shelter, education, and love are all part of the home. And there is a spiritual presence as well.
We try to help these children to grow spiritually, especially to grow in a good relationship with God. God loves them and He has not abandoned them. Through the people who are supporting them, they have to learn to see the hand of God. And it is only through that as a home they are going to be able to share and to love one another.
The Lubasi Home does not have any regular source of funding and depends solely on contributions from individuals such as yourself.
We still need a lot of donations for running expenses every year, and we have had to limit the number of children this year because we are not sure that we can feed more. We never know from one year to the next where our running expenses are going to come from. We depend on a large number of individual donors.
There is space in the home for 60 children, but sadly, it's not being used because of a lack of funds. Just $100 a month can provide a place for a new child at Lubasi. It is the opportunity for all of us to make a small but meaningful difference in the world. It is our responsibility to share in the gift of love.
I came here when I was 11, and now I'm even appreciating them for keeping me and providing me everything. So I say thank you to them.
Donations can be made to Lubasi by logging on to lubasihome.org, or in the United States, you can make a tax-deductible donation through Global Partners for Health, an American charity with 501c3 status, at www.spreadhealth.org. Thank you for your support.